President Trump on Friday said Democrat Joseph R. Biden is plagiarizing Mr. Trump's economic plan, a barb that evokes a scandal from the former vice president's past. President Trump told reporters at the White House, "He plagiarized from me, but he can never pull it off." Mr. Biden, the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee, unveiled his economic plan Thursday, calling for spending $400 billion on a federal Buy American program to drive economic demand. When he was running for president in 1987, Mr. Biden was hurt badly by the accusation that he plagiarized passages of a speech from a British politician. The White House said Mr. Biden's economic plan is simply trying to copy President Trump's success in focusing on promoting domestic manufacturing and production. White House counselor Kellyanne Conway told reporters yesterday, for all to see, he was plagiarizing Donald Trump, Buy American. "I think it's really rich that he feels so desperate he now has to plagiarize and copy President Trump." Mrs. Conway also mocked Mr. Biden for plagiarizing Senator Bernard Sanders, his former rival for the Democratic nomination, in crafting his unity agenda. Mr. Sanders of Vermont has been working with Mr. Biden on the plan. She said copying the president's Buy American agenda is easy to do. President Trump is in charge bringing back manufacturing, bringing about wealth and jobs that were parked overseas because of the Obama-Biden policies and the policies of other presidents. She said, "I hope they didn't spend $1 on focus grouping that, since we already know it's how this president got elected, to some degree, but it's not going to fly because Joe Biden has a record, and he should be pressed on that record. That record was not pro-American worker, pro-American industry, pro-manufacturing. He was for all these non-reciprocal, imbalanced trade deals that screwed the American workers, screwed American industry, screwed America for many years." President Trump said of his opponent, "He likes plagiarizing. He's copying what I've done. But the difference is he can't do it. It can't be the same, because he's raising taxes way too much." President Trump attacked rival Joseph Biden on Friday at a forum on Venezuela, saying, "Nobody will be safe in a Biden America because the Democrat would hand over the country to a socialist mob." Saying that many people in Venezuela and Central America have fled failed socialist countries for the U.S., the president said, "Joe Biden and the radical left are trying to impose the same system, socialism plus, in America." President Trump said, referring to liberal Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, "Biden is a puppet of Bernie Sanders, AOC and the militant left. The people that want to rip down statues and monuments to George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Jesus, they want to rip down statues to Jesus." Accusing Mr. Biden of siding with leftists who want to defund police departments, President Trump said, "Nobody will be safe in a Biden America, but Biden doesn't know what a Biden America is." The president said, "If you ask him to define it, he wouldn't even know what it is, but other people do. Biden wants to defund the police. He wants to call the cops the enemy, which he did the other day, leaving every citizen at the mercy of a socialist mob, or a mob far worse than socialism was ever meant to be." He said of the movement on the left, "We're dealing with a group of people that, they will not win. It will not win at all. But this election coming up is a very important one." Seeming to refer to his trailing Mr. Biden in public polls, President Trump said, "I'm fighting against this horrible situation, I'm fighting and I'm fighting hard." The president said, "I want the Republicans to get strong and tough, and I want people that agree with me on the Democrat side, of which there are many. I think we're gonna have a tremendous Democrat surge." He said he is doing well in the real polls. President Trump said, "We reviewed polls this morning, with different states, we're doing very well, by the way, in the state of Florida." The president said Mr. Biden will have radical people running his administration, and that even his eventual running mate won't have as much to do with running the country as you believe. Mr. Biden called President Trump's trip to Florida a photo op and a distraction from his failures during the pandemic. Mr. Biden said in a statement, Just like his response to this pandemic, the president has been unreliable and self-centered in his approach to the issues closest to the Venezuelan people. As president, I promised to take real action to help the Venezuelan people by granting temporary protected status to Venezuelans already in the United States, leading an international response to address the humanitarian situation affecting millions of Venezuelans, targeting government officials and their cronies involved in corruption and human rights abuses, and restoring democracy in Venezuela and aiding in the country's long-term recovery.